If you experience tension or tightness along your jaw, this yoga SOS practice is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Beth, and as a clinical psychologist, I know that when we experience stress, that can show up in our body. That's the mind-body connection. We all hold that tension in different places, and the jaw is so common. So you might be grinding your teeth at night, waking up with jaw pain. So for this practice, we'll be starting with some seated stretches and then stay for the end because we will be doing some yummy, relaxing ball work. You can use any type of ball for the ball work. You'll also need one block. Now, one note of caution, if you have severe TMJ, sometimes doing any work with the jaw can trigger TMJ. So just be careful and maybe talk to your doctor before starting this practice. All right, if you're ready to start with me, let's find a comfortable seat together. So we are going to begin with some simple stretches of the head and the neck, because as you know, everything is connected. You can sit cross-legged or however you'd like. You could even do this in a chair. Rest your hands by your side or on your lap. And we'll start with the head and the neck. Let your left ear start to dip toward your left shoulder. Now let your shoulder be relaxed. No need to move your shoulder up to your ear. And especially let your jaw be relaxed. So open your jaw a little bit. Let it be kind of slack. And then we're going to take our chin and turn it down, I would say toward the opposite knee. So a little bit in that direction, keeping your jaw nice and loose. And then lift your head back up toward me, still keeping your left ear toward the left shoulder. A couple times like that. Move slowly. Remember to keep your lips, your teeth slightly parted, to let your jaw be loose and relaxed. Let's do one more. All right, come up through center, lift your head, and then we're going to turn the head from side to side a few times. Loosening up in a side-to-side position. You might feel that along your jaw. Next time you look left, let the eyes follow and let the eyes move as far left as possible. And then same thing as we go right, let your eyes go right and your eyes move as far right as possible. One more time each side. So by adding the eye movement, we're also stimulating the vagus nerve. And the vagus is responsible for helping our body's natural relaxation response to kick in. Finish on this side. All right, back to center. Then we'll do that lateral stretch on the second side. So keeping your right shoulder soft, start to let your right ear dip toward your right shoulder. Remember to keep your jaw loose throughout everything we do. We want to keep the jaw loose. We don't want to add to any tension there. And then let the chin dip down toward the opposite shoulder. Turn your head back toward me as your ear goes back to your shoulder. And a few like that. Going slowly helps ensure that we don't move into pain, that we don't add to the tension. I can hear some creaks and cracks in my neck. You might too. Last one. And then bring your head back up, re-centering. Okay, next, we're going to start with a massage just with our own fingers. So we're going to take the two fingers, the peace fingers of each hand, and you'll take your fingers behind your ear. First, feel that bony cartilage. That's really where your jaw moves all the way up and starts there behind your ear. And then reach underneath that and feel the soft spot. So you might have to go a little down and a little back. Gently do a little rubbing in there. We'll start super soft, super gentle at first, so you can get an idea of how it feels for your body. You could make little circles. If the pressure feels comfortable, you might increase the pressure a little bit. Remember, jaw is slack and soft, teeth are a bit parted. And then with your fingers in that same spot, we'll slowly run along the underside of the jaw. Again, start with super light pressure. You might even let your fingers to allow the jaw to open even a little bit more as you pull down with your fingers. I'm just under my jawline. When I get close to my chin, I'm just repeating that motion again and again, adjusting the pressure to make sure the whole time it's comfortable. Perhaps a few more times with the jaw more open. All right, and then you can let your hands come down. Now that we move the neck around a little bit, we're going to move the shoulders around a bit because, again, everything is connected. And when we have tension in our head and our neck, it can sometimes stem from tension in our shoulders. Okay, so we'll start by gently letting the shoulders rise. We are squeezing, but a little bit, not too hard, not to create tension, and keeping the jaw loose. And then keeping the shoulders squeezed up, start to squeeze them back, and my elbows are naturally drawing back as I do this. Lower the shoulders about halfway down and squeeze back again, letting your arms move with this motion. And then let the shoulders come all the way down, or the shoulder blades lower, palms up, give your elbows one more squeeze back. Release. You can sigh out through the mouth if you'd like. And let's do one more like that. Gently lift the shoulders, a little squeeze here. Keep the shoulders lifted as you pull back and squeeze. Lower your shoulders about halfway, pull back and squeeze again. Lower all the way as you pull back and squeeze one more time. And then release that. Move around, shake everything out. All right, we're going to move to the floor portion. So grab your block and a ball and meet me lying on your back. So on our backs, we're going to start with the ball at the suboccipital muscles. So if you feel the back of the skull, you can feel those bony protrusions. And we're going to be right in the middle, in that little dent that's in the middle of your skull. I'm going to lay back on my back. You might have to move your hair out of your way. And we're placing the ball on the block to give us a little more height. So it's right under that ridge of skull, right in the middle at that soft spot. I like a softer ball for this. So if you're using a tennis ball, you might have one that's an old tennis ball that's kind of deflated. Just being here, feeling this pressure, it might feel pretty intense. So make sure once again that your jaw is pretty loose. Don't clamp your teeth shut as we're doing this. You might explore some really small movements, teeny little nods of the head. If you can see my mouth, you'll see that as I move, it stays slack. And if you have trouble doing that, as I talk, my jaw has to stay pretty loose. So you might try humming to yourself. That's something else that stimulates the vagus nerve. You could even sing a song or talk back at me as you're doing this. You could also explore a little side to side movement, letting the ball roll just under the ridge of your skull. And those muscles, they connect down to the shoulder muscles that we just stretched. They can get super tight and contribute to our jaw pain, really our overall body tension. All right, let's come back to stillness. Adjust the ball higher or lower if you need. And we'll stay here in stillness for a few more breaths. Sometimes it can help to put your hands somewhere in the area of your lower ribs. I can feel the breath moving all the way down into my abdominals, ensuring I'm taking full breaths in, full breaths out. And then we're going to roll onto one side. I'm going to roll to face you. We'll take the ball on the block to that same spot behind the ear that we used our finger massage before. And then here we'll just stay. So the simple pressure of the ball helps to encourage that tension release and also letting go of our jaw, letting things be slack. You can close your eyes here if you like. Perhaps a little tiny shake of the head, no. And then our last position of the ball, this is going to be the really yummy release part. Take the ball and place it right into the soft part of our cheek. So above the jawline, under the cheekbone, you can lift your head up to adjust the pressure or let gravity push your head more into the ball. Open your jaw here. Open and close a few times. Feel the ball snuggle into different places as you open and close. And then we'll switch over to the other side. You can just flip. I'm going to switch my orientation to side 2. Okay, so here on side 2, starting with that first position of the ball in that same spot underneath the bony part of the skull behind the ear, that soft-ish spot. You can use your hand to help hold you here. So simply staying and releasing into the ball, letting gravity do all the work is a great way to release. You can let your jaw soften with gravity as well. If you'd like, take a few soft, shaking the head no. The choice of movement is yours. Stillness might feel preferable. Some gentle movement might feel preferable. And then we'll move the ball into that space along the jaw, the soft part of the cheek. Remember that you can let your head fall into that more, or you can lift your head a little bit if you prefer less pressure. Open and close your mouth a few times. And then you can set the ball aside and we'll return to a seated position. So we're finishing here with some last bit of release. Now that we've warmed everything up, maybe you're already feeling a little bit more openness here. Let's just move the jaw from side to side, going slow. Always staying in a comfortable range and not forcing. And then open and close a few times. Make some circles with your tongue inside the mouth with a jaw loose, maybe the teeth slightly parted. I like to run my tongue behind the upper teeth and then the lower. Go in one direction and then the other. And last thing, we're going to scrunch up the face, but keep the jaw relaxed. So keeping your teeth slightly parted, we're going to focus on scrunching up the eyes and the cheeks for a minute. Scrunch things up. Remember, you can hum in order to keep your mouth loose. Big sigh out. Hopefully, this work has given you a little bit of release, some techniques, ways to soften your jaw a bit more. Try it before bed and get a good night's sleep with a less painful jaw in the morning. Try some of my other pain relief videos in my S.O.S series, and please subscribe to support my channel, give me a like, and I'll see you next time.